Personal story. Let me tell you guys about my weekend. So, my wife runs to the store. She comes back. She comes right in the house and she says to me, and I'm sure that you guys can relate, we have two licensed drivers in my house. My kids are very young. My wife has a license. I have a license. Therefore, she has a vehicle and I have a vehicle to get around. Okay. She comes into the house and she tells me, right when she walks in the door, she's got the groceries. She sets them and she walks right up to me and she says, "Hey, I parked really close to your car. So when you leave tomorrow, be careful." Now, that means nothing to me. I don't care how close you are. I'm not an expert driver. I'm not Mario Andretti. But I assure you, it does not matter how close you parked. If I can get into my vehicle and get it started, I can get out of there safely. I don't think much of it. I say, okay. She does a couple of more tasks and she says it again. Says, "I parked very close to you. You need to be real careful when you leave tomorrow." Again, I said, okay. She got a couple more things. Now she hits at me with it a third time, how close she parked to me. Now, we have a driveway. It's a 2-car driveway. We both back in. So she backs in and I back in. The relevance to that being is no matter how close she parked, I'm assuming I can't get my door open, right? I parked close to, can't get my door open. I could just go on the other side. I could just go through the passenger door. I didn't think it warranted me being told 3 times how close she parked. I truly did not think anything of this. I went to sleep. I had a great night. I get up the next day. I head outside to take the garbage out. She hit my car. And I don't mean she hit my car like she hit my car and she then moved the car. The cars were connected when I walked out the following day. They're connected. It was kind of a wheel. Like if there's any part of the car you could hit, this was the good part. It's like wheel, tire, but then they've got fenders. And so it's the fenders that are now intertwined, and I can't figure out who's in front of who. Because in theory, if she backed in, she'd be in front of me, which means that's the car I want to move. But if I'm wrong and I can't quite see because of the fenders and she actually bumped back behind me, then I got to move my truck first, or I'm going to rip part of her car, right? It's whichever one's in front. And I can't tell. So I've got to walk around, and this is in a V shape, mind you. So the engines are out this way and the rear ends are connected. Now I got to walk around and go inside of the V to try to figure out, again, because it was like an optical illusion with the fenders. It was very, very tough to tell. I put my glasses on and I'm trying to figure this thing out. I take a picture on my iPhone and then I stretch it out. I got to see who's in front of who to rip the whole side off. The other problem that I have as I'm investigating this is I live in a neighborhood, which means the neighbors are going, what are they going to think? What would you think if you're driving home and there's a wreck within the driveway? Like, what would you think? I'd tell you what I would think. I would tell people. I would quickly tell people. I would be talking trash. I would probably call a guy, say, "Hey, by the way, see you backed into one another, dum-dum. What happened there?" I mean, it would be a funny thing. So my wife and I don't know how to handle this because we've got to figure this out. I need to now bring her in on it to see what vehicle's in front of who. My car's black, her car's black. And when I tell you this was an optical illusion, it was very difficult to see. And at the same time, you got to play it off like you're not totally embarrassed. And you gotta like talk loud so all the neighbors can see that you're not embarrassed about it. You're trying to explain this away. And I can't explain it because her vehicle is new. Now, in my house, when we say new, that means new to us. But we buy used vehicles. We're a used vehicle family. It's new to her. I've driven it one time. And you know when you put things in reverse and it comes up on the dash? If you have one of those rear, you know how that thing. Hers doesn't work. The lines are goofy. Like you can see the mirror, but then it gives you these automated lines and they are goofy. They're a little bit off. So I know exactly how this happened, but I still need my neighbors to know. I need my neighbors to know how this happened. So then it turns into this whole big show and film this, honey, as I pull, and then let's put it on Instagram, like as a way of downplaying that you are in this spot. So I go inside. That's the whole story on that. I end up getting it resolved, and I never did know. It truly was an illusion. I could not see black on black and fender on fender, tire on tire. I could not see who was in front of who. I just deduced logically that because she's the one that backed in, it is much more likely that she's in front of me. So I pulled her car out. It did end well. No other damage was done. It's right on the tires and wheels. Maybe in theory, somebody could buff that out. So I go inside.